Well, what's going on, world? Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 3 of the Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast, where we keep it real, we break it down, and we gonna help you win your league with that hustler energy. Whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, or Apple, and we appreciate the love. Let's lock in because remember one thing: you sleep, you beat. So I'm joined by my boy Fantasy Ray Ray, and we're gonna shout out our brother Justin Time. He couldn't make it to this episode, but we with him. Real quick before we get started, before we jump into the episode, I want to give another shout out. I want to give a shout out on any given Sunday. Last week I shouted out Kobe. He was looking like he was gonna get the dub to not be winless. Unfortunately, my brother Pablo came back on him. So Kobe's still winless. Pablo got the dub. So that was a tough one. As y'all know, all the fantasy players out there, it's heartbreakers out here when you playing out here. So y'all already know how it go. In any given Sunday, I dropped a 4-4. We still struggling with injuries, but we trying to shake back. We piecing it together the best we can. In the gridiron game league, I got an update. That's the league me, Fantasy Ray Ray, and Justin Time in. And boy, Fantasy Ray Ray was able to squeak out a dub 116.76 to 114.46 against Justin Time. That's the close win right there.
Hated to do it to you, Justin, but we in the words of Jameis Winston, we eating
You gotta eat
W's.
it. We gotta
We
eat
eating
it.
W's over here.
Hey, that's a crash out L right there, though. You lose that close, But yeah, hey, but we gonna keep it moving. We're gonna jump into the show. You know what I'm saying? What we learned from week 8 before we jump into week 9. Week 8 was crazy. Some of the top fantasy performances. Jonathan Taylor at 37.4 points, had 153 rushing yards, 2 TDs rushing, had a receiving touchdown. Troy Franklin. This one came out of nowhere, crazy. He had 26.9 points, 6 catches, 89 yards, 2 TDs, went crazy. Tucker Craft, I think Tucker Craft elite, honestly. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, he looking elite. He having a crazy year. He had 33.3 points last night, 7 catches, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love, 20 straight completions. He the first Packer to do that since Brett Favre in 07.
Mm-hmm.
20 straight completions, had 31.9 points, 360 yards, 3 TDs. He looked good. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of stuff he was throwing up looked lucky too, though. He was throwing up
But
some
you
crazy.
need that sometimes.
Yeah,
You
nah,
need
that's
that.
true. Yeah, it's better to be lucky than to be good. And then the Buccaneers defense, they locked up my Saints. They had 25 points. They only allowed 3 points, 2 picks, 2 fumble recoveries. They had 5 sacks. So y'all know we had a QB change in the middle of that one. So yeah, the Buccaneers, they locked us up. So them was the top performers at each position for week 8. Uh so
Let me
yeah, go ahead.
before we jump in it, I got to throw one more player out there as a
All
breakout
right.
player. I
Okay.
feel like we'd be remiss not to mention this performance. James Cook.
James Cook.
James
James
Cook,
Cook.
19 carries, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. And for most people, they was getting James Cook in the third round. Just ridiculous. Running back
19,
7 on the season.
19 carries for 216.
Two
That's
tutties.
insane. Two
Yeah.
tutties. That's insane. Insane. Yeah. Hey, that game was over pretty quick too. Buffalo packed up Carolina real quick, got them out the way real
Oh,
quick.
smoking on a loud pack as they leave in the
Man,
arena.
what balled out here. Balled out here in
Hmm.
Charlotte.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Shout
so
out to the baby.
hey, shout out to the baby. We're gonna keep it moving. Surprise breakout player. So you mentioned James Cook as one of the top performers. That was a good one. We ain't have him listed, so you threw him out there. 19 for 216 was crazy. Who was your surprise
Hmm.
breakout player in the usage spike that you didn't see coming from week 8?
Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears, 9 carries, 59 yards, he had a touchdown, 17 fantasy points. Just really just looked like, we probably was 2 years too early,
Yeah.
but with the way they season going right now, they need a spark from anywhere. And Tajay Spears looked like one of the most. I think we're gonna mention a player later that added a spark too. But Tajay Spears definitely looking like one of the bright spots on that offense.
Nah, he do. He do. He look like he might be RB1 going forward. We don't know for sure, but he definitely played a significant part of the game yesterday. Uh, my surprise breakout player, I got two of them actually. Samaj P. Ryan, he had 9 carries for
Mm.
94 yards, 42%.
Woo!
Yeah, he went crazy. Was that like almost 10 a carry? He had 1 TD. And then my other pick is Roman Wilson, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5 catches.
Wilson
Roman Wilson, 5 catches, 74 yards, 1 TD, 46% of the snaps. Now,
popped out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. Now he was third in the snap count share. So he wasn't the lead guy. He wasn't the second guy, but he had a crazy game. So that was one guy that surprised me. Usage spike came out of nowhere to me. At least, so Roman Wilson and Samaj P. Ryan was mine. And then Fantasy Ray Ray had Tajay Spears for his surprise breakout player. So, as y'all know, in football, injury is part of the game. So we gotta touch on some nasty injuries. Unfortunately, Cam Scatterboo, ankle fracture. It was
Hate to
announced.
see it.
Yeah, definitely prayers up for Scatterboo. It was announced today he out for the season. Him and Jackson Dart had some new energy in New York, so this just crushing for them. But for fantasy purposes, I know this your guy, Fantasy Ray Ray, Tyrone Tracy might be a nice little play after that.
Yeah, I mean, he was a starter coming into the season. And
Yeah,
we saw last year when he can hold on to the ball, he's able to do something that Scatterboo can't really do. And that's
yeah,
take it to the house from a long distance.
yeah,
Tracy got breakaway potential to bust them long plays. He's a former receiver. So out of the backfield, he can be good. And I think not having neighbors and not having Scatterboo, they might really lean on Tracy in a lot of different ways to help spark that offense.
yeah. Now that's some good points you made. So with that being said, we in 2025, but the Giants gonna be a team to watch for 2026. So man,
For
make sure
sure.
you keep them. Yeah. So going forward, the rest of these injuries, I haven't seen an update on if they're gonna play or not, or how long they out. So just make sure y'all monitoring these, and we're gonna live tweet these too to give y'all some updates to make sure y'all on top of y'all lineups. Joe Flacco had a right shoulder sprain yesterday. Saquon Barkley had a groin injury. Quinshawn Judkins had a shoulder injury. I did see something today that he might be out for a few weeks at least. So Dylan
So
Sam.
quick update on Quinshawn. Me
Okay.
a Browns fan. He's officially listed as day to day.
Oh, so positive news. So that's some
They
positive
going on
news
a
coming
bye
out
week,
with it.
so
So he got a little time to heal for sure. So that's good news for Quinshawn. Kamara left ankle injury. Harold Fanning an unknown injury. Luther Burden and Marvin Mims both had concussions.
mm,
Daniel Bellinger, the backup tight end for the Giants, had a neck injury. So those are some of the fantasy worthy injuries that I saw. Like I say, we're gonna tweet more. When we find them, we're gonna make sure y'all informed on them. So fantasy Ray, I'm gonna come to you. Real game. Well, you the only one on here, so I gotta come to you. So some real game trends, that impact fantasy outlook. What's some trends that you saw yesterday that's going to impact fantasy going forward?
the old quarterback. So, right now you're starting to see a resurgence of these older quarterbacks coming back. And we got some of these younger quarterbacks that are inconsistent. A lot of people drafted players like Justin Fields. You've been rolling them dice playing Justin Fields every week. And so just seeing that kind of up and down play Look at some of these older quarterbacks. Don't know if Jacoby Brissett is starting when they come back next week, but he's been playing really well. Um, Flacco, who I'll touch on here in a second, has been playing really well. So Wentz out for the season, but he had a few games in there where he played pretty well. So I think if you drafted a guy and he ain't really been doing it for you, and you see some of these veterans showing out, don't be scared to stream them, especially if they're in a good offense.
No nuts, no glory. I like that because I ain't gonna lie. I typically stay away from them, but you definitely right. Brissett had a 300 ball a couple weeks ago. Then he had
Mhm.
280 the week after that. So he been balling. So yeah,
Yep.
no, good point. I like that what you said. One game trend that impacted fantasy to me that I saw yesterday. You spoke on him earlier. Tajay Spears. He out snapped Tony Pollard 52% to 46%.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
the numbers are starting to support that. Maybe he taking over in Tennessee. Like you said, we was a couple years too early on him, but it's starting to look like the door's starting to crack open. So he might be playable going forward. Now I ain't saying throw him in the lineup, but make sure y'all watching for him.
Might be a flex play for sure.
Might be a flex play going forward, so for sure. So yeah, he out snapped Tony Pollard in week 8. So yeah, one bold takeaway for you after yesterday.
So I said I'd mention him here in a second. Joe Flacco is a QB1 until Burrow comes back.
Yeah.
He's only rostered in 36% of leagues. He's averaging over 20 fantasy points per game as a starter, has at least 2 touchdowns in each one of the games. And, as long as he got them thoroughbreds out there in Higgins, Chase, even Chase Brown, man, look at the life he got since Flacco came back. He was dead in the water. I traded him. He was a part of a package I sent out to get Bijan Robinson, him and Jamar Chase, and then Flacco come in there and revive everything. So to me, he's definitely a QB1 until Joe Burrow plays, if Joe Burrow comes back.
Hey, well, he definitely bought Burrow some time for that playoff run they're trying to make. Like you say, yeah, they lost a tough one yesterday, but these fantasy players, Chase, Higgins, Chase Brown, like you say, they they back. They back
Yeah,
with
they
Flacco.
back.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point you made right there with Flacco. So for me, I'm gonna stay in Tennessee for my bold take. Shamir DK is wide receiver 1 until Ridley come back. Now, because they paid Ridley and they pretty much out of it for the playoffs, does he come back? If Ridley don't come back, Shamir DK is a fantasy wide receiver 1. 89% of the snaps, he's averaging 6 targets over the last 2 weeks, the 2 weeks that Ridley missed. So Shamir DK is a thing. Now, he might be just a flex play because they offense so lackluster, so tread lightly. But he's a wide receiver 1 while Ridley's out.
So I absolutely love that. I think that's a slam dunk pick for this category. Because if you watch the game, him and Ward, him and Cam Ward had a lot of chemistry. Cam was looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing in this situation that we haven't talked about is next week is the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And now that DK has really stepped up, we were hearing a lot of Eric Manor to start
Mm-hmm.
the year, who I think would be a perfectly fine wide receiver 2 in that offense. So I mean, we could very well second half of the season for the Titans be looking at Cam Ward, A.O. Manor, DK, and Tajay Spears as the young core. Not to mention, what is it, Gunnar Ham?
What's
And
it? The
the
backup
backup
tight end?
tight end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could be putting some young pieces together. I mean, don't look super great right now, but I wouldn't be surprised that with Pollard and Ridley being the vets there and kind of underperforming. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tennessee possibly move them this week and try to get something for them and keep building around that young team.
So if they do move them, y'all heard it. Some of them Tennessee players gonna start getting some fantasy relevancy. As they're gonna start seeing more snaps, more targets, more opportunities. So make sure y'all on the lookout for that young Tennessee core. Uh, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go into the start and sit of the week. Now, before we get into the start sit of the week, these are the teams that's on bye this week. This is week 9 we coming into. Cleveland Browns are on bye, the New York Jets, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if y'all got players on any 4 of those teams, make sure y'all managing y'all lineups and y'all keep a close eye out. All right. So with that being said, this is where we separate the casuals from the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? It's time to do the start sit of the week, lineup decisions that's going to win or lose your matchup. So Fantasy Ray Ray, who your start sits? We doing quarterback, one running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end.
Okay, first, let me say, I love that. Shout out to the hustlers. If you
Shout
get
out to
this
the hustlers.
information, shout out to the hustlers. All the
Yeah.
hustlers that's with us. You know, you grinding every week. You trying to figure out who to play to win these matchups. Shout out to the hustlers.
Shout out to the hustlers.
So I got a couple. My pick at quarterback this week is Tua Tagovailoa.
To start.
Yes,
To
to start.
start.
To start.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
coming off a
Yeah.
week against Atlanta, who seemed to have a pretty good pass defense coming into that game. Tua threw 3 picks consecutive weeks. That was 4 touchdowns against Atlanta. So I think whatever they had to do to sing "Kumbaya" with Mike McDaniels, they got it together, and then they fought play
Yeah.
Baltimore, who has the 30th ranked pass defense.
All right.
So I think they feeling good. I think we saw some things work for them. I think this is a good week to start Tua at quarterback. At
And they
running back,
play in Miami.
okay,
They play in Miami. I like that.
yeah,
I like
there
that.
you go.
Who you got running back?
You know, I like the Flintstones when I was growing up, right?
All right.
So, so I always like a little Bam Knight
Bam Knight.
going up against Dallas. They got the worst ranked run defense. And surprising news today, the Cardinals cut Michael Carter. So unless there's a surprise with Benson playing, which I haven't heard anything about, I think Bam Knight to start this week. If you need to stream him back because you got injuries, you might want to put that waiver in for Bam Knight this week. And then, you want to make a point to that?
Yeah, that's a good matchup. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. You know, since we've been on here, I've been picking against Dallas every week. So yeah.
Yeah, smart man.
Yeah, I love that. So who you got at receiver?
At receiver, I got Rome Odunze. As inconsistent as Caleb has looked, he's coming off 7 catches, 114 yards, and Cincinnati ranks 31st pass defense, giving up 17 passing touchdowns this year. I think it's a good get right game for Caleb, and he clearly looking for Rome. So I like Rome at the wide receiver spot.
Now, with that being said, is Rome approaching? Now I know we only saw him with one quarterback, but is he approaching QB proof territory?
I think it's early.
It's early.
You know, that's a special title to bestow upon a wide receiver, and I think we only got maybe 5 max in the league.
Okay.
So he ain't quite. You know, Jamar Chase seems to be pretty quarterback proof. Jay Jettis seems to be pretty quarterback proof. You know, we've really only seen Puka with one quarterback, but I would imagine he's pretty quarterback proof. Devontae Adams, quarterback proof.
Adams, QB proof for real.
Yeah, QB proof. Garrett Wilson, QB proof.
He QB proof for real too.
Yeah, and then JSN is on his second quarterback, and he had 100 catches last year, and he unstoppable this year. You know, so is Rome in that ilk yet? He got to earn a little more for me to put him in the category with those guys, but he well on his way.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So who your tight end? Your start for the week.
Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry. I know
That
Hunter
was
Henry's super
mine.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's tight end 7 on the season. I know that ain't saying much because tight end ain't a deep position. But Atlanta's giving up the most fantasy points to tight ends. So, and we know Drake May is in the running for MVP. So I think this could be one of those boom weeks for Hunter Henry.
Okay.
Who you got?
All right. I like Hunter Henry. He actually was on my short list for the start for the week. I
Okay.
went I went a different direction, younger. Uh I got Justin Herbert against Tennessee. Uh I'm
Okay.
picking on Tennessee pretty bad. Herbert on the heater right now though. You know, he
Yeah, he
had four,
balled. He balled.
yeah, he had 420 week 7. He had a great day. Thursday he chopped Minnesota up, something crazy. So yeah, he on a heater. So I like him. I got Javonte Williams against Arizona. Uh,
Good pick.
yeah, I think he had a bad game against Carolina, but he had a great game against Denver, which Denver, at least middle of the pack on the run defense. So they usually solid, you know what I'm saying? And that was a revenge game for him. So he played good.
Yep.
He got them on Monday night in Dallas too. So that's why I went with him, a little hometown feel. Here go another shock though. Here go another shock. This is a deep
Okay.
throw. Cooper Kupp against Washington.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Cooper. Wow. I
Yeah,
don't know if I thought
super,
I'd hear that name on
yeah,
the pod this year.
yeah,
So
super
talk
dark.
to me about that one.
Super dart throw. The Commanders got the 25th ranked pass D. Uh, I think you convinced me on Darnold. I wasn't the highest on Darnold, but this the second team in 2 years, second coach. You know what I'm saying? This is his third team in 3 years. You know what I mean? He'd have been all over the map in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Now he not going crazy, but he a starting quarterback. He's a franchise QB. He's a streamer
Yeah.
right now in fantasy. If you need a quarterback, Darnold would be definitely a great option to look at. So because of that, because Washington got the 25th ranked D, I got JSN. So I feel like JSN gonna go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, you're gonna have to make an adjustment to JSN. You know what I'm saying? So if Jay and Daniels play next week, and the offense able to keep up with Seattle, which we know Seattle can score points. That's why I went with Cooper Kupp. It might be hopium, you know what I'm saying, but I think I like the matchup in that situation. Uh,
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
yeah. For my tight end, I'm gonna go with the young bull. Like I said, I had Hunter Henry, but I went with Colston Love.
Okay.
Against Cincinnati, they got I think the 31st ranked pass D. So yeah, that it's funny because I don't believe Caleb gonna have a crazy day, but that don't mean a skill position won't have a good day. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that happen before. So yeah, I got Carson Levin against Cincinnati. So with that being said, I'm gonna swing it back to you for your sits for week 9.
Okay. To that Loveland point, I like that. A lot of people have been waiting on that breakout. We ain't seen it yet, but if we right about the talent, it's bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So for my sits, you're not gonna love this, but I got Jaden Daniels because he'll be coming back from injury. So there'll be some rust there. Seattle, we know, got one of the top defenses in the entire league. So that's gonna be a tough matchup for him. Hoping that he plays. So we'll see how that looks. For my running backs, I got Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, obviously, you just talked about the snap count, him losing snap shares to Tajay Spears, and Pollard's averaging less than 15 fantasy points per game. So you don't love that. Um,
They got the Chargers too, so that's gonna be tough.
yeah, most definitely gonna be a tough matchup. And then the next one I have Waddle, Jaden Waddle, going to Baltimore.
Mm.
Now, Baltimore has one of the worst pass defenses, right? I hyped up Tua earlier, but I don't know if Tua has the consistency to feed Waddle consistently.
Mm,
I think he can still have a good game, but we know he's proven he likes to spread the ball around.
yeah,
So I get a little worried. I have Waddle in one of my leagues, and one of the biggest things about him is it's just hard to trust him week to week.
yeah, yeah.
And then for tight end, I got Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts coming off a good day with Kirk Cousins with 9 catches. But do we know who's starting at quarterback next week?
Mm, I ain't
That's
heard
the
nothing.
big and they don't have inconsistent QB play. So I know that's one that we've been hoping on for years at this point. But I'd be pretty nervous to put Kyle Pitts in my lineup.
That's interesting. He had a good day this week. He had 9 catches for 59 yards. So, he had a pretty good day this past week against Miami, even though they didn't as a team. He was definitely a good fantasy option at tight end. So, I like that. I'm going to have to watch that. Definitely be peeping that. So, for my sits, now, I picked Carson Love in that tight end. I feel like he's going to have a solid day against Cincinnati. I went Caleb Williams at quarterback. Part of this personal
Okay.
experience. I done started him, I think, 2 weeks in a row since, no, I started him last week. Jay and Daniels went down. Now, he balled for me early in the year. And then I don't know. These last few weeks, he ain't really been playing good. Look like he hold the ball a long time. Look like he always just trying to make the big play. Like sometimes he don't look like he trying to look for the easy play. So yeah.
One of his draft knocks, by the way.
Oh well, then that's who he is. Then that's what they they
Mhm.
scouted up on him. So yeah, I know Cincinnati defense is porous. But yeah, nah, I don't know. Because I feel like Caleb is more stopping himself. I don't know if defenses are stopping him. You know.
Yeah, I think he one of them dudes that the hype train just got so out of control.
Yeah.
Even coming out of college, to me, to fans' eyes, Jay Daniels looked like the best quarterback
Yeah.
entering that draft, but I
Hmm.
think for that 2 years of tape on Caleb, the hype train was out of control. And you see some of the stuff they talked about. He want the big play, he want to extend plays. And I think he does that way too much.
Yeah.
Making the easy reads, he missed a lot of simple throws that should be easy completions for him, and then he make the wild throws. So I think
Hmm.
that's just like you said, that might just be who he is at this point. So I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I went with Caleb. So my sit at running back is J.K. Dobbins against Houston. They got the 10th ranked run defense. They're a great
Defense
tackle
strong.
team. Yeah, they just locked up McCaffrey yesterday. I got them in fantasy. You know what I'm saying? They force turnovers. They do everything you want them to do on defense. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't see Dobbins having a good day against them. So I would say sit them for week 9. Diggs versus Atlanta. Atlanta, one of them frustrating teams, obviously, because they be good. They kind of dominate against the Bills. They get blanked by the Panthers. They get dogged by the Dolphins. Like, who is this team? You know what I mean?
Who are they? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We know they got the talent. We know they got the pieces, but who are they? But with that being said, they got the first ranked pass defense. They only give up 140 pass yards a game. Diggs been up and down, as we know. Drake May, another one like to spread the ball around. He's
Mhm.
been he shed a rock. I mean, I think Kayshawn Booty looked like they won for the year, but I got Diggs in my league. I played him this week. He had a good weekend against Cleveland. I think he's been up and down most of the year, so I would say sit him against Atlanta. And lastly, Kincaid versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs got the
Really?
Defense, yeah, I know. I like Kincaid. He helped me a couple years ago when I grabbed him. Because of you, you put me on Kincaid. He held it down. But another quarterback who like to shut the ball. I think Buffalo, what I'm saying, they got a tough task on their hands to try to get Kincaid involved against Kansas City. Kansas City got the fourth ranked pass defense. So my money on Kincaid probably won't have a good day against Kansas City. So he might sit for week 9. So with that
Okay.
being said, yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go into this risk it or bench it rapid fire. Real quick. I just discussed them, so you know how I feel, but it gotta come to you. Caleb Williams versus Cincinnati. Risk it or bench it.
I'm gonna say risk it.
Risk
Risk it for the Trisket. So
it.
so while I agree with all the points we made on Caleb, man, Joe Flacco and them boys putting up points.
Yeah.
And so I think this could end up being kind of one of them shootout situations where because they have to keep pace with Cincinnati, um, Caleb gonna have to run a little bit. He's gonna have to throw the ball. They're gonna have to score points. So while I don't love Caleb from an efficiency standpoint, I do like the matchup.
That's a good point. It's a good team to get a bounce back game on. Yeah, if you struggling in fantasy, which he is, yeah, you definitely probably can shake back on the 32nd or 31st pass ranked defense. Uh, So y'all know how I feel. Caleb was in my sit, so y'all know I'm a bench it. So next one, Cortland Sutton versus Houston. Are you risking it or are you benching it?
Gotta bench it. Gotta
You
bench it.
benching it. Okay.
Yeah, I have Sutton in our Gridiron Gang League. It's just been so up and down. You kind of put me on the Troy Franklin and just how his usage has been trending up. And he might be starting to turn the corner as the wide receiver one in that offense.
Yeah.
Look more fluid. Sutton had some bad drops yesterday. And Houston's defense is just good. So yeah, I'm benching Cortland Sutton.
Benching Cortland Sutton. Okay. I agree with you on that one. uh yeah, the fifth pass defense, like I said earlier about Houston against Divers. Uh, same reasoning for Cortland Sutton. They just locked Dallas up. We know Dallas the offense is really good. I think they second in the league in scoring, so we know they like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I'm a bench it for Cortland Sutton. So next one, Quentin Johnston versus Tennessee. You risking it or you benching it?
I'm risking it. I'm
Yeah,
risking it. QJ coming off a zero performance. And we know Jim Harbaugh really likes QJ. QJ is known for having big weeks at this point, inconsistent, but he'll put it up. And we know with him, it only take one or two catches for him to get into the end zone. So they play in Tennessee. It could be over early. But I like to see them come out and get QJ involved early, or at least attempt to, just because he didn't do anything last week. So I see QJ. I'm gonna go 3 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown.
it's a good day. What's that? 8-14. Yeah, you got 14 for
Mhm.
the day in a PPR. It's a good day. It's a great day. Uh, I'm gonna risk it. Like you say, he had zero last week. You can only go up from zero. Like you say, they like him. Lab becoming a thing. Look like Keenan Allen starting to fall off a little bit. Or they ain't looking for him as much. And then I don't know how it's gonna look with Gaston. However,
My
I saw,
dog,
yeah, yeah.
run day.
Yeah, you was able to grab him, so that was a good scoop for sure. You sleep, you beat. So we was beat. So yeah, I'm gonna go Quentin Johnson on the risk. I like that bounce back performance. So I'm gonna move it to the last one of the day before we switch segments. Isaiah Pacheco versus Buffalo Bills. You risking it or you benching it?
Benching it.
You
I don't
benching
even think this needs much of a explanation. Yeah, it just don't get enough work. If you're watching the game tonight, Kareem Hunt already got 2 touchdowns. if you just that desperate to play him, he can get you 6 to 8 fantasy points, but I'm not risking it. I'm benching Isaiah Pacheco.
All right, cool. So, hey, I'm on the other side of it because I am that desperate at this point in the season. Yeah, so
Uh,
Buffalo got the 31st ranked rush defense, so I'm a risk it because I ain't gonna lie, I'm at that point on my team where I need. I, I like what you're saying though. I like the risk. I like the nuts on it. Hey, benching Isaiah Pacheco from Fantasy Ray. I risk it. So we're gonna keep it moving to the matchup breakdown. We got some good games in week 9. We're gonna cover the marquee matchups. First one up, we got Kansas City at Buffalo. What you got? What you think? What's your take on this game and how it pertains to fantasy implications?
Kansas City at Buffalo. So I went with Kansas City. Um, I think Buffalo, when you expect them to have a monster game, they tend to not.
Yeah,
Um, Mahomes, the number one ranked quarterback in fantasy this year. I think he got a chip on his shoulder from Josh Allen winning the MVP last year. Um, so I think this is one of them games. Rasheed Rice back. Kansas City looking pretty lethal offensively. And we know, Josh Allen, the Bills, they done shown this year that they can struggle a little bit.
yeah.
That they beatable. And I think Kansas City really getting their confidence back. So I like Kansas City in this
And as you say, you like Kansas City, they getting their swagger back. They up 21-7 on Washington right now. Look like it's about 2:45 left in the third. Yeah, they back. So yeah, Kansas City got the fourth ranked pass defense, as I said earlier, 15th ranked rush defense. They offense humming. Pat Mahomes got them top 5 in rushing. He was the number one fantasy quarterback coming into Sunday. So he been going crazy. Buffalo, we know their defense a little weak. It's a little suspect, a little subpar, at least when it pertains to them stopping the run. So that's a clash of the Titans right there. I think this is going to be a preview of the AFC championship game. But I ain't going to lie, because of James Cook, I got Buffalo in this one. Buffalo, as you said earlier, James Cook had 216 yards yesterday. So I got Buffalo in this one. I like them against Kansas City. I think part of me kind of just want to see if Kansas City for real too. You know what I
one.
mean? But yeah, I like Buffalo. So Fantasy Ray had Kansas City in this one. He said they got their swagger back. I think we see that tonight on Monday night. We've been seeing it for the last couple of weeks. I got Buffalo. So the next game we got for the marquee matchup, we got the Indianapolis Colts versus Pittsburgh Steelers. What's your fantasy implications on this game, and what's your thoughts on it?
I got the Colts. Um, it ain't even close. They're a buzzsaw. They're as good defensively as they are offensively. They don't turn the ball over. They got the best running back in the league. Um, Indiana Jones looks phenomenal. My dog Michael Pittman looks phenomenal. Tyler Warren looks phenomenal. I just don't see a way that Pittsburgh can keep pace with them. And I think the Colts defense has shown they good enough to limit opponents. Um, and yeah, I don't see Pittsburgh having a shot at winning this game.
And if you notice for 2025, Pittsburgh D looking a little like mesh.
Yeah. They got a lot of names back there, but they all getting a
Yeah,
little long in the tooth, as they say.
yeah, boys eating on them. You got a piece of that Colts offense. Tyler Warren going crazy. Like he was tight end too going into last week. You know what I mean? So Pittman balling. What
Yeah.
he was 12,
Wide receiver 6
six
after
after
yesterday.
yesterday. Oh yeah, so wide receiver 6 after yesterday. JT probably RB1. I ain't looked up
One.
if he won, but
Yeah.
downs in 3 weeks, you RB1. Regardless what the numbers say, you RB1. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
And
with you
then
on that.
Danny Dimes is quarterback 4.
Top five quarterbacks. So you got top five at four positions on your offense. So you got a piece of that Colts offense. You probably balling in fantasy, or at least I would like to think. Now we know fantasy,
Yeah.
so
That it is.
yeah. So I agree with you. I got the Colts, and my reasoning really just Jonathan Taylor. So
Man.
uh, last game, Seattle versus the Commanders. So the Seahawks versus the Commanders, and I think that one a Sunday night game. So what's your thoughts on that one, and what you feel it means for the people in fantasy?
In the words of the Big Diesel. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I got the Seahawks.
No.
I got the Seahawks. Yeah, the Commanders, like I said, we got to see what Jaden Daniels if he plays, what he looked like. Is he rusty? Is he willing to run like he normally does, coming on a hamstring? And then I mean, you just got Darnold, who been playing at a high level all season. You got JSN, who's a top 3 receiver right now.
Yeah.
AJ Barner looks promising. I
Hmm.
just think it's gonna be a tough matchup. But we know the Seahawks got a good defense. So
Yeah.
Washington getting their boys back and Debo and McLaurin. So that'll help them. But a running game really ain't got going for them. I like the Seahawks.
And is Jaden gonna play in that game?
That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Like I feel with Mariota, they ain't gonna have a shot personally.
Not against that defense.
Nah. Kenneth Walker, I see what Charbonnet got 51% of the snaps yesterday. What's up with that? What you think they doing? What they on?
Me and you had this talk off camera all the time. And I'm just a strong believer in everybody can't run 2 backs.
Yeah.
You need the right 2 backs for that to work. And I think the thing with Seattle is why they have 2 really good backs. There are 2 backs that need to get in rhythm. They need to have the
Yeah.
ball. They need to get a lot of attempts. And I think you subbing them out and you seeing both of them look pretty inefficient. Charbonnet has been the goal line back, which I think is allowing him to get in more of a groove
Mhm.
than Ken Walker. But to me, in the words of Jeff Teague, when you talk about Russell Westbrook, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
So,
the problem.
yeah, I just think, like I said, a deadline coming up, it's an opportunity to kind of clean some of that up. Maybe you move one of them backs. But I think as long as they keep trying to do it the way they doing it, I mean, we've seen Ken Walker be a top back when Charbonnet barely touched the field. And
Hmm.
we've seen Charbonnet look like a top back when
Hmm.
Kenneth Walker's hurt. But
Hmm.
this mismatch 50-50, we're gonna be the Lions thing. You're not the Lions. It don't work.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
don't.
So it's funny I asked you that because that's actually one of the questions later in the show.
Answer
we'll
that
dive.
for you.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll dive. We it's another component to it. We'll dive into it
Okay.
more. So we're gonna move into the under the shell. Oh, real quick before we do that. Yeah, I got the Seahawks too. I agree with that. JSN. That's all I got. What you gonna do with that? I don't think there's much you can do with that. So
Yeah.
uh yeah, I like Seattle. Hopefully Jaden play though. I need him to play. But
Hmm.
we're gonna keep it moving to the under the shell pick. Now, these are, people that's like the name says, under the shell, real low key, sleeper pick of the week. You know what I'm saying? Give me a deep sleeper, somebody you like, as the under the shell pick. Who's your guy?
I'm under the shell with this one like a Ninja Turtle. Uh, I gotta go with Xavier Hutchinson. Uh, they got a lot of good young receivers in Houston. I mean, I could have picked Higgins, I could have picked Noel, but Hutchinson got 3 touchdowns over the last few weeks. And he looking like a red zone target for
Mm,
them. It seemed like Stroud got some chemistry with him as far as looking for him in the end zone, and he been coming up with the catches. And I think right now they're trying to figure out who's the guy next to Nico.
Yeah.
Right? Is it Higgins? Is it Noel? Is it Hutchinson? Well, Hutchinson keeps scoring touchdowns. I think he's gonna start to separate himself, and he on a good pace right now. So
Okay.
I like
So
Xavier Hutchinson.
I like that. That's real deep. So they looking for a two.
Yeah, they need one.
They need a two. All right. Xavier Hutchinson. You heard it here. Fantasy Ray. That's his under the shell pick for week 9. I'm gonna go with Kyle Monungai. Snap
The
counts.
bane of my existence.
Yeah. I know you a
As a
Swift
Swift
manager.
manager.
Yeah, I know you a Swift guy. I know that is a little frustrating for you. The thing is, though, I think Swift has shown he ain't losing his job. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this before. When they need a run, they need a big play. They always go to Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Always. They don't go to Rome or Doomsday. At least when I see them, they don't go to Rome. They ain't going to DJ Moore. Now, DJ Moore did have a big play yesterday against Baltimore, but they need something. They always go to Swift, and I know people on Twitter don't really like them or like him.
Yeah.
But yeah. So with that being said, Swift got a stronghold on the job. But Monungai snaps getting up there. It's looking like it's trying to get close to a 55th. And part of this, I think, is to spell Swift. He's not the biggest back. So you need another guy who got burst. And Monungai showed he got burst. Now, yesterday, he only had 7 touches. So, you don't love that. That's definitely a deep flex play. You know what I'm saying? You're in a deep league. But they were losing most of the game. So I think the game script changed on them to where they probably couldn't get him the ball like they like I said, because when they need a play, they go to Swift. Kyle Monungai, my guy. So I'm going to ask you now, who's your deep stash?
I had to go in my bag for this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was high on this player early in the year. The opportunity wasn't really there for him. And I think now, as the season goes on, you'll see this player get better and better and better. I like Malik Washington. We talked about Tua. Yeah, we talked about Tua to spread the ball around. I kind of mentioned I wasn't super high on Waddle this week because of the inconsistency. But on the season, Malik Washington is averaging around 5 targets a game. He's only rostered in 12% of leagues. And you got no Tyreek Hill. You got no Darren Waller. So teams are going to be focused on Waddle. That should open up plenty of opportunities. Malik Washington coming off a touchdown this week. I think you're going to see him, second-year player, just get more and more involved. So that's my deep stash, Malik Washington.
I like that one because I looked at him so long on the waiver last night.
I like Malik. He got some talent.
I looked at him about 15 minutes like, man, he looked like he might be all right. Yeah, so that's a good, you was deep in the bag with that one. My deep stash, I don't know if it's really that deep. I feel like he really shouldn't be he shouldn't be on the waivers at this point. I got Kayshon Boutte. 4 TDs since week 6. He scored a TD in 3 straight games. He the snap leader of the receiving corps in New England. So all the numbers, all the usage, all the scoring point, the Boutte is the guy, and it's the rest of the people getting in where they fit in. So I don't know how deep that really is, but that's my deep stash pick.
Yeah, it shouldn't be deep.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, one thing about Boutte is he ain't Boutte. He pretty damn good, and I think what you're seeing is, number one, we always got to drop this in here. LSU product, first and foremost.
LSU product.
They're the second wide receiver U. So OH, Ohio State is wide receiver U, LSU right there with them. And I think you're just seeing the chemistry with Drake May.
Yeah.
Drake May starting to see that Boutte got hands, man. He got hands like glue. You know, I don't care how you throw it. You can throw it low, you can throw it high. Man, if it's in his vicinity, it's a catch. And I think you're
Contested.
seeing Drake May. Yeah, he just catch everything. And
Yeah.
so and Drake May starting to see that. And I mean, he's a touchdown magnet. So I love that pick. I mean, I think, you know, with any elite quarterback, you want some of the offense. And when you go to New England, I think by the time season over with, you're gonna see Booty ranked pretty high and higher than what anybody can think of. So if he's available in your league still, you better have that waiver in tonight for Booty.
Tonight, huh?
Tonight. Right now.
Right now.
Right now, today.
Today. Yeah, right now. Nah, I feel that though. Yeah, he shouldn't be on waiver wire, but he too good. So so the fact that he there, hey, maybe you get lucky, maybe you blessed. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, so now we're gonna switch it up to we're gonna turn it up to this hustler energy. Lock pick of the week, your guaranteed smash plays, and you gotta stand on it. Who your hustlers energy lock pick of the week.
You know, the words, you know, I just got something to throw out here for y'all. In the words of my man Justin Bieber, I'm standing on business with this pick. Okay. They standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Yeah, straight to it.
And I gotta go somebody on my roster. You know, if I'm gonna give y'all picks, I'm gonna tell y'all who to grab. I better have some stake in them too. So if I'm gonna pop, lock, and drop it on a player, pause. It's gonna be.
Nah, that was wild. That was wild.
It's gonna be Michael Pittman, my dog. Colts looking like a juggernaut. Just in the last 2 weeks, Pittman is averaging over 20 fantasy points. He got a touchdown in both games. He got 9 targets in both games, and he's wide receiver 6 on the season. So I think you just seeing him kind of separate himself as wide receiver 1 for one of the best offenses in the league. I'm locking it on Michael Pittman. I'm standing on business.
I love that because he's not. I don't know. I don't think he got the name he should have.
Well, you know, he had it. You know, a few years ago, it was Pittman, it was Olave, it was Garrett Wilson. I hate to throw this name out there, but it was Christian Watson, and then then the injuries for all of them started to happen. Injuries, bad quarterback play, and they all just kind of slid, you know. And now you got Pittman healthy. He got a quarterback, and voila, he's right back. Here he is.
I gotta ask you though. So I gotta ask you because he's played with different QBs. Is he quarterback proof?
Healthy Pittman.
Healthy Pittman. QB proof.
We've seen him have 100 catches with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
You know, we seen him last year. While it wasn't typical Pittman season, he had a broke back. His back was broke. and he played the whole season, and you could still play him. He was still playable.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get more quarterback proof than that. You know, and now we healthy and we seeing what he can do. Yeah. I love Pittman. I love Mr. Michael Pittman. He was the guy in my draft where I was like, I need him. I need him on my squad. And I was able to grab him. So yeah, I'm locking on Pittman. If you got him, start him. Quit doubting it. You know, I've had moments this year where I'm like, I'm pretty stacked at receiver. Maybe I don't play him. I mean, he is consistent as they come.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Who you got? Who you lock? Who you standing on business with?
Honestly, because I feel like you challenged me with your lock pick. Not like challenge me in a way like that, like it's calm, but in a way like maybe I need to think deeper. I landed on.
Okay.
I picked Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, that's a layup, you know?
It's a layup. It's a layup, but because you pick Pittman, and I feel like it was one of the as a pick where he top six, and ain't nobody acting like he top six, at least from what I see. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, not at all. Not at all. It's like
That's a great one.
like you hear nothing about him.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah. So with that being said, though, I mean, I'm gonna just stick with Jonathan Taylor.
All that to say, I was just thinking.
Yeah,
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. It don't you can't get a better lot than Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's just playing out his body. You know,
9 touchdowns in 3 weeks, 8 rushing, one
yeah.
receiving TD.
He back to peak Jonathan Taylor.
He the best RB in the league. He RB1. He RB1. Regardless of what the numbers say, he RB1. I don't know what the numbers say, but he RB1. They should
Yeah,
be.
yeah, for sure. I mean, right now, you think about coming into the season, Saquon, Bijan, McCaffrey. You even had some people that had Ashton Genty
Yeah.
ranked higher than
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor,
He went in
A
second.
Chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Jonathan Taylor in the second round, and he'll probably be the number one ranked player in fantasy next year.
And he
If it
really was
keeps going.
popping up. He was really popping up like early in the thirds. I feel like he was like 22nd, 23.
Just unreal.
Yeah, unreal.
Um, one thing that I'm gonna throw out there for fantasy managers that I've learned this year, a hard lesson: you can't draft scary. You can't draft worried about injuries. It is what it is. Some players gonna get hurt. Some
Yeah.
players not gonna get hurt. But
Yeah.
a couple years I've avoided A Chain for injuries. He didn't get hurt. He was a killer.
Oh,
You
he
worried
didn't get
about that?
hurt.
No, last 2 years he ain't really got hurt like that.
Yeah.
But I keep avoiding him until he come up and put 25 on me.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I could have had him. So I think, sometimes, Jonathan Taylor, we know he had the major injury. So the talent is there, but you like, I don't really know. Man, take the talent. Take the talent.
And then he had that contract hold out too. So I think that
Yeah.
slowed him down too. But yeah, he back. He had a good year last year, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
shouldn't have he
McCaffrey's
really
another one. You shied
yeah,
away from McCaffrey this year. You regretting that decision.
yeah. Had a bad day yesterday, but I feel you though. Yeah, he going crazy. I lost
You there?
you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I was saying he had a bad day yesterday, but I feel you though. He going crazy this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think, those injuries, even Saquon, people worried about the curse and if he going to get hurt because of the workload he had last year. Yeah, monster day yesterday.
crazy day. Easy
Hmm.
too. He was done by the fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think if you drive from a position of fear, you're going to miss some talent.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, I feel you. That's a good point. So don't going forward, don't draft from fear when draft season come around. So we're gonna keep it pushing. We got our last segment, the Hustlers Q&A, the Hustlers question and answer session. We got a few questions that we received. So real quick, first question up to you: who's the better stash for the playoffs, Tajay Spears or Zach Charbonnet?
I'm actually go Spears.
Okay,
I just see a situation where, unless somebody get traded, I don't really know who separates themselves. If Zach Charbonnet can really separate himself, I mean, he'll be a goal line back, and some weeks that's gonna go in his favor, some weeks it's not. But I can see them really looking to expand Tajay Spears' role. because he can do so much. He's
Yeah.
explosive. He's fast. He catches well out the backfield. I could just see them really wanting to open that up and give him every opportunity to add to help Cam Ward and add to the offense. So I like Tajay.
That's a good play. Tajay Spears, you heard it. Fantasy Ray Ray says the better stash, in his opinion, for the playoffs is Tajay Spears. So, should a manager bench Rasheed Rice versus Buffalo or roll with him as a flex this week?
Speaking of the devil, he just scored an 18-yard touchdown. Um,
Mm.
and you're just never benching Rasheed Rice for any reason. Unless I mean, even if Pat got hurt,
Yeah,
and we pray that don't happen. But if Gardner Minshew came in, I'm still starting Rasheed
Rasheed
Rice.
Rice.
Yeah, there's never a reason to bench him ever. He a must start every single week, no matter who they playing.
Okay. All right. Fantasy Ray Ray said it here. Rasheed Rice, never take him out the lineup. He's your guy. All right. So
Set
the
it and
next,
forget it.
yeah, set it and forget it with Rasheed Rice. So next question, Kyle Pitts, is he actually back or is he just teasing us?
He's just teasing us. He
Just
just teasing.
teasing us.
We know he's capable, but Kurt didn't really look great yesterday, and Penix ain't looked great all year. Well, if I got two not greats, and one of them's young and could possibly be the quarterback of the future, I can see a world where Penix is back next week. And if Penix is back, you know who we looking at. We looking at Drake London. We looking at Bijan to have bounce back performances, and Pitts will kind of fall into that third wheel kind of position. So I think it's teasing us.
And even Mooney, right? Like even
Yep.
even Mooney
Yep.
could push Pitts down some nights. Now I don't think he higher than him on the options or the read list, but I do think some nights Pitts
We've seen it. We've seen Mooney
slide behind Mooney.
have good weeks.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. So yeah, Fantasy Ray Ray say that Kyle Pitts teasing us. So the next question is, who's your favorite sneaky defense streamer for week 9?
Oh man, a sneaky defense streamer. I don't know if this is sneaky, but I'm gonna go with New England. I think we're having another. Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think my Boost Mobile internet is giving me some issues, but not like New England. I think with New England, we just saw them just destroy poor Smurf Dylan Gabriel out there. And like I said, Kirk ain't playing that great. Penix has been super inconsistent, and the Patriots defense has been awesome. So I could see a world where their defense scores some points next week against Atlanta. As good as they've looked at times this year, I think they might be going the other way. I think they might be imploding as we speak. So
Yeah.
I would start the Patriots. I'll start the Patriots defense this week.
All right. Patriots against Atlanta. That's a 1:00 game. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. The Patriots defense locking up though. They definitely
Yeah.
locking
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So thankfully I got them. So I ain't gonna lie. I ain't letting them go. So in our league, ain't nobody gonna be able to stream.
Holding
Everybody,
on for dear life, huh?
yeah, everybody was gonna be able to get them in our league. But yeah, if they
Yeah, if you put
available,
them down, I'd get them.
oh, they go. Yeah, now I see them again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Jalen Waddle. So is he a buy low or stay away right now?
I think he'll buy low. I had him as a player that I don't know if I trust him fully yet, but he's a wide receiver one. I think
Yeah,
anytime you can get a wide receiver one with a track record of having 1,000-yard season under their belt. I mean, he's still fairly young. We saw this week that he's still plenty explosive. The only thing with Jaden Waddle, it's Jalen Waddle. It's Tua. Which Tua you get from week to week?
Yeah.
You get good Tua, you probably will have a good Waddle day. If you get
Yeah.
bad Tua, well, see you next week. But I think if you can get them low, and you probably can't do that this week. You gotta wait. I mean, but you gotta wait and see if he have a bad week. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't stay away from him. When Miami's offense is rolling, it's rolling.
Now, with that being said, now is he a trade candidate? Does he end the season with Miami?
I think so.
Okay.
I think with Hill being hurt and them talking about not bringing him back, Waller's on a 1-year deal. He on IR. They probably won't bring him back. Tua's still young. A-Chain's still young. To me, there's no reason to let go of Waddle when he really fits that core
Yeah.
of A-Chain and Tua and even Malik Washington, as he kind of, if he was an older player or something like that, then I would get it. But you finna free up some money with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think, to me, I'm holding that together. There's no reason to break that up when you'll probably end up using the pick that you traded them for to go get a receiver.
Right. Right. Who's not gonna be Waddle? You know how it go though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last question of the night. Would you rather flex Jacoby Myers versus Jacksonville or Christian Watson versus Carolina?
First off, who came up with this question? This is an ugly decision to have to make. If you in this position, your season probably already over.
It's a wrap. It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
you might be shout out to Kobe. You might be 0-7. Oh man. Oh, I'm just talking mess, man. I love you,
Yeah.
Kobe.
Yeah.
But nah, this is tough. I do think Christian Watson looked good. They got the better quarterback. I know they got a bajillion pass catchers in Green Bay, but Matthew Golden looked like the weakest link in that thing. To say people took him at a good price
Right.
in drafts. But I think Christian Watson looked good. And just like I talked about earlier, a couple years ago, I took Christian Watson in the second round. Yeah, yeah. He's coming off a 10 touchdown season.
What he did for you that year?
Oh, he spent 80% of the year hurt. Yeah, I think that's my worst year in fantasy. Uh, but I mean, you talk
Yo.
about a young,
He had a 10
tall,
yeah.
fast receiver coming off a 10 touchdown year
Yeah.
in what it was rookie season. You expect a big breakout after that, and he
Yeah.
just ain't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just saw last night he looked back. He looked just as good as he's always been. Now the question is, you got Dobbs, you got um Tucker crab yak and cheese.
Yak and
um,
cheese. Yak and cheese. Yeah.
he just a monster. So yeah, but Jacoby, he don't want to be with the Raiders. Gino looked terrible. Might be starting Kenny Pickett, small hands Kenny Pickett. Uh, I don't want no part of that. I'm not touching that. Give me the good offense. Give me the talent. I keep saying it. Talent win. At the end of the day, talent win. And
Talent win.
you got a good quarterback. Christian Watson got talent. You already got enough problems on your hands with all the weapons that they have, which I think Christian Watson is going to actually end up being a big play guy again, like he's always been. So I like that.
All right. So that was the last question. The flex, Jacoby versus Jacksonville or Christian Watson versus Carolina. Fantasy Ray say he going with Christian Watson, the man on the better offense. That's a good point. I agree with that. So with that being said, we finna go and wrap it up. That was episode 3 of the Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast. We appreciate every one of y'all tapping in, listening to us on Apple, Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, and just remember we got our live stream of our fantasy basketball draft Wednesday, October 29th. It's 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. We're gonna kick off our fantasy basketball segment of our show with that live draft, that live stream of the fantasy draft. So make sure y'all tap in. Also, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, at the Hustle Sports Network, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, as Hustle Sports Net. If you rock with the show, share it, like, subscribe. And always remember, you sleep, you beat. See y'all next week. I appreciate your fantasy, Ray.
Oh, as always, see y'all next time, hustlers.
Yes, sir.